All right, so let's just breathe into our hearts so I can ground myself in my excitement today. Love the topic of pain bodies. And we're going to talk about what to do when someone else's pain body is getting flung at you, because we're not the only ones with a pain body, right? So if we will just take a breath into the heart, nice deep breath. Exhale. Ah. Good. Another breath into the heart. Good. Now take that exhale, send it straight through your legs and feet into the core of the earth. Once you feel yourself land at the core of the earth, inhale from the earth into your body. Pulling the earth and the water, the fire, air, ether into your body, up into your heart. And now exhale all the way up to source energy, to the heavens, to divine I am presence. And as you inhale, pull all of that beautiful, luminous frequency through the top of your head. As you exhale, push the divine light into your body, into every cell. And as it pushes into your body, send it into the space around you, into your field. Another breath like that. Exhale, pushing that light into the energy field around you, just sealing up that bubble. Imagining it may have been porous and you're just sealing it up tight. Some violet light caulking. Nice deep breath. Exhale, pushing that violet consuming flame now, connecting into that violet fire at the center of the threefold flame from the white fire core of your I am presence. Sending it into the space around you. And just hold yourself here in the presence of your own sovereign self. In this moment, right here. And as you connect with your breath in this moment, just notice what your vibration, your energy field, your body feels like. Check out what mood you're in, what feeling and emotion is there, what's in your mind and your thoughts, what sensations are in your body. You don't need to fix it or change it or up-level it, just be with whatever's here, right here. We don't need to transmute anything. We're just going to be with whatever's shown up in this moment. So this week I'm single parenting. And I'm like a different parent when I'm single parenting. And so I am on fire and I'm feisty. I'm a force to be reckoned with. That's not very spiritual. It's not my most enlightened self, but it's what's here. That's what's here this week. Me and a bit of an extra fire. Is that bad? Is it wrong? Is it okay? Is it not okay? It doesn't frickin' matter. It's what's here. So I want you to feel what is showing up within yourself. I have I'm parenting alone pain body. It's like a hyper vigilant. If there's any dishes anywhere, if anyone's acting out of sorts, I become a militant mom. I don't know where that comes from. It's clearly a pain body of I have to do it alone and I have to like really fire it up to parent 3 daughters alone. So whatever's showing up with you, let's give it a space at the table. Let's not make it bad and wrong and try to enlighten it. Are you feeling weak or sad? Are you feeling feisty, sassy? Are you feeling dull, resentful, happy? And as you connect with that part, just caricaturize it. Let it be a cartoon, a part of you. And as you let it sit at the table in front of you, whether it's behaving or whether it's misbehaving, simply ask it what it's needing. So to this crazy kind of Tasmanian devil self I have sitting at my table, what's going on? Are you scared? What's with all the militant stuff going on? You okay? So if you will, talk to that part of yourself that's acting up a bit. Find out what it needs in this moment. Like when a toddler's acting up and you can address the bad behavior, or you can see, oh, the toddler's tired. She just needs a nap. So as you listen to this part of yourself, maybe you can call to the table the part of yourself that judged this part of yourself or suppressed this part of yourself, and let that part pull a chair up to the table. And ask that part of you what it's not okay with, what's going on for that part of you. Maybe it's like a librarian or a school teacher, just trying to keep everybody in order. And as you give space to at least these two parts of yourself, let to see what other motley crew shows up at the table. What other parts of you are there rearing their head in loud ways because they haven't been tended to, listened to, cared for? When you're done judging these parts of yourself or saying that they shouldn't be there, and you really give them space, just find out as you go around the table what each of these parts of you needs in this moment. And as you hold that space for these parts of yourself, put a plan together. Okay, you need more rest. Gotcha. You need your truth spoken a little bit more often. Okay, check. You want a little bit more order. Okay. Like a family meeting, everybody having a voice, every part of you being heard and seen, and a plan for each part to be tended to. Nobody exiled, nobody more or less important than the other. Just notice what that feels like in your body. And if you can, make a commitment to more often listen to these parts that are acting up and getting loud because they felt unheard, uncared for, unexpressed in what you thought was appropriate or okay. And if you can, just sit here and allow yourself to imagine and visualize, vibrationally feel what it would feel like for all these parts of you to be fully expressed in your life. And just notice which part of you you're most scared of letting loose. And if you can, feel into what you're afraid of most about this part of you being fully expressed. What's the worst thing that can happen if this part really was truly expressed in your life? And if you can, just be with that fear, if you will. This is the reason why you've been controlling that part of you. The fear of being alone, being unloved, being unworthy, being cast out of the tribe. Never making money, whatever it is. Just allow yourself to sit in the space of that fear. So it doesn't have as much power over you anymore, because that too has a space at the table. And as you be with that fear, as you feel that fear, just notice where you feel it in your body. That fear of abandonment or insecurity or unsafe or unworthy, not mattering, not being seen or heard or loved. Notice where you feel that in your body and allow the sensation of that. You don't need to do anything with it. Just feel it and be with it. And if you will, draw a little violet flame into that space in your body. And as you draw the violet flame, imagine yourself taking an elevator into that space within your body, that part of your chest that tightens up, or the belly that feels hollow. Just allow yourself to be there in that space. That's an old vibration. It's an old trauma packet. So as you bring the violet flame into that space in your body, just allow the violet flame to work in that space of unsafe or abandoned or unworthy or unloved or not seen or not mattering or whatever that is. Set the intention to work with this part of you. It's an old part. It's been around for decades. We're not trying to get rid of it. We're just trying to be with it. This part is what creates a ripe breeding ground for your pain bodies. So the more we get to know it, the more we befriend it, the more we spend time with the sensation of it, the less a pain body can use it to take over. The less we'll find ourselves fighting for our life for this. In my opinion, that's what a pain body moves through. It lands itself in that trauma packet, in that flavor of unworthiness that you internalized at 7 years old. And it works through those vibrations of unworthy, unloved, unheard, unseen. And before we know it, we are fighting for our lives, or flighting out of the scene, or freezing into stone, or fawning just to make sure we'll be okay. Our fear response will kick in. But these pain bodies are not random. They are absolutely living through this trauma packet, this trauma vibration, and sending us straight into a trauma response. So what is the first step to prevent pain body takeover? Awareness of these parts, awareness of these vibrations, awareness of our own flavor of unworthiness. It's all different, and it's all housed in different parts of our own bodies. Do you know what yours is? Have you given it space within yourself? Have you gone into your deep introspection and feeling within that part of yourself so that you know it? You can feel the subtle vibration of it when it starts to creep up. So with our own pain bodies, to know what makes us most susceptible to that. Is it when our mother-in-law is coming to town? Because when she judges you, that judgment makes you question everything about yourself. Is it when you're about to get your period because something within you feels really fiery and unsteady? Is it when you haven't slept or eaten? Is it after you've had alcohol? What is the ripe environment for those specific pain bodies to take hold and to take over you? Such that it's like the movie Groundhog Day. It's like you're already merged and you're already in it. And then it's done. And then 1 month later, it happens all over again, like you've never seen it coming. That was like 20 years of PMS for me. As if I couldn't have predicted, as if I couldn't have done self-care, as if I couldn't have really figured out what I could do for that part of myself. So proactivity and being able to really know these parts and know when these parts rear their head and under what conditions do they show up is absolutely critical. being willing and able to care for that part of you that feels like she doesn't matter, she's not loved, she's not worthy, she's abandoned, she's unsafe. Do you know those parts of yourself well? A lot of people say, oh, I feel unworthy, but what kind of unworthy do you feel? What really gets you? That knowing of ourselves and those parts of ourselves is absolutely key. So this is where Eckhart Tolle's pain body work, along with the system of therapy called internal family system, where they looks at parts work. What part of you is showing up right now? What part of you is not feeling tended to? What part of you is protecting itself? And honoring these parts and working with these parts. So often on this yogic or spiritual, new age, personal improvement path, we're thinking we're broken and we have to fix ourselves. What if that's not the whole story? What if we simply just need to know, oh, I have a clingy 4-year-old that rears her head and feels helpless every once in a while. That I have a defiant 15-year-old self that's like ready to flip off anybody who wants to tell her she's doing something wrong. Here's another one that I have. These are parts of myself. I have a belligerent 70-year-old alcoholic sitting on a rocking chair in the back of my head named Hank. And he's angry and he judges and he gets really feisty. And I have to be like, geez, Hank, what the frick is going on? You got a little thing up your ass today. How you doing? You okay? What do you need, Hank? Do you know these parts of yourself? Do you allow them to be there so you can work with them? Or are you personally offended and horrified every time they show up? Because if you don't know this part of yourself and you're shocked and horrified, then you're probably not prepared and able to work with this. So when Hank starts showing up and starts getting judgy and grumpy, I need to work with Hank and be like, all right, Hank, what's going on? Bring Hank front and center. You're very belligerent lately. What's going on? So we need to know these parts. We need to know what they're going for. What unworthiness is seated in that trauma packet. Now, in my work, we do 2 months of trauma packet work, and we work to loosen up this stuff so that the triggers and the pain bodies don't seem as ugly. But if you haven't done that work, it's still possible to feel that and to know that and to become aware of what's going on within you. That knowing of what your issues are what helps you when someone else's pain body rears its head. And that's the topic today that we didn't get to. We'll have to take that up another day, but let me give you a teaser. Because the point is, if you know what your stuff is, then when someone else's pain body rears its head and you find yourself enmeshed in their pain body, I was thinking it's kind of like stop, drop, and roll, right? When someone else's pain body shows up, or when your pain body shows up, is like, hold up, wait a minute. We just go in. We're like, is this mine? Is this me? I'm fighting for something. What am I fighting for? Is this my pain body? Is it their pain body? It doesn't matter whose pain body it is. Because if you got sucked in, it's now your problem, right? Because their pain body sucked you into your trauma response, your pain body. So the work is the same. Let me pull myself back into myself. Let me just stop. And let me see what part of myself just engaged with a part of them. And let me take care of that. How can I take care of that? Oh, I was fighting for my life because someone told me I was wrong. Okay, let me just work with that part. Now, that doesn't mean we have to fix their pain body. We can just pull ourselves out of that little trauma response and really look at what did their trauma response, what did their pain body, what did their big tsunami hook into in me because a pain body can't take hold unless it can click into something within you. So it all goes back to, how am I in right relationship with myself? What tiny mad idea, what unworthiness got hooked up and was the sticky point for their unworthiness? And to know that a third party just came in the room. So if my husband and I are in a pickle, we both need to stop, drop into our own individual hearts within ourselves, towards ourselves, stop, drop. I haven't figured out the roll analogy, but I'll come up with it in time. But it's just to stop, pause, freeze, pan out, drop into your heart. We don't have to blame. We don't have to keep doing this with the other person. We just need to see, how did I lose myself here? And how do I get myself back into myself right now? It's not really about who's right or who's wrong or who's worthy or who's going to be abandoned or any of that. It's about, how did I lose the connection to my own heart? And what I find when I get sucked into a pain body, I have to look at what's mine here and what third party is in the room. Meaning, there's a lineage pain body, or there's some fear, or there's some gunk in someone's energy field. I don't know what it is, and I don't need to. I just know that I and my partner are covered with some gunk, like slime. And we need to clean off the slime before we can see each other. We need to regulate our nervous system, burn out the violet flame in our field, regulate ourselves back into, who am I in this moment? Because typically, if a pain body came up and you got sucked into your pain body, which corresponds with the other person's pain body, then we are not in the room anymore. Something else is here, playing, creating chaos. And it's not me, and it's not you. So this does not mean we're not emotionally responsible. It just means that there's something else kicking up dirt. Karma is kicking up dirt, old energy, a trauma packet. But I'm not here present in my heart, and neither are you. And I can't even see you right now because I am so drunk on the wave of a pain body that I'm not even in my heart. So stopping, pull ourselves in, noticing, how did I get sucked into this? And how is that not me? How is that just an unhealed part that's playing with their unhealed part? And if you go back to the video that I have on being an empath, it's just pulling ourselves back in. What is mine here? What do I believe about this? And the thing about a pain body is it takes time for it to de-escalate because there's so much momentum. So the time of pulling myself back into my heart, regulating my nervous system, doing some forgiveness so I can pray that energy right off of me. I'm sorry, I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I'm sorry, I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Will bring me back into the vibration of heart coherence and oneness. And it's only from that point can I see that there was a big fluffy cloud in between me and the other person that I couldn't see them. Now, they may still want to chew on my energy field, but I need to see that this is not them. This is them in a pain body taking over. And so what do we do in that situation? We stop feeding the pain body. So whether it's our own, we stop feeding it on our own negative thoughts. We come back into the present moment, regulate our breath, regulate our nervous system, violet flame, Ho'oponopono our asses off. So we can sometimes this is behind a locked door, right? Let me get me back. And then the other person still wanting to chew on your field or make you wrong or bad. Who are you? Is it true? Do I know who I am in the presence of that energy coming at me? And am I willing to sort that out for myself, to know my own truth in the presence of distortion? Because that's all a pain body is. It's fear and distortion. So can I sort out truth in the place of so much distortion? Maybe not. Maybe you need to lock yourself in the bathroom at that Christmas party because there's just so much distortion coming at you. You don't even know what end is up. That's what I do. I lock myself in the bathroom. I do violet flame. I regulate my nervous system. I start the Ho'oponopono to just like figure out who I am again, because I got enmeshed into someone else's stuff. I pluck myself out of that stuff, and then I'm able to pan out and be like, oh, they're in a pain body. Oh, they don't feel worthy right now, and they're really strung up, and they're in pain body takeover. So the violet flame, I've said this so many times, working with the violet flame, regulating yourself, breath work, Ho'oponopono, the forgiveness prayer, but getting ahead of it. And we're going to be doing some lineage stuff in the weeks to come to prepare ourselves for the holidays, getting ahead of the lineage stuff, the lineage patterns, knowing what they are. Chances are if this person's had a pain body, you know their pain bodies. You can get ahead of that. You can spot it when it comes in so you don't mesh with it as quickly or as deeply. And you can freeze in that moment instead of fight. Or you can pull yourselves back instead of fawning. So looking at the opposite fear response and just pulling yourself back into your field, because if the pain body cannot feed in your thoughts and emotions anymore, it will starve. So we have to starve our own pain bodies by not giving it the corresponding fear and negative thoughts and I'm unworthy and blah, 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 whatever we feed it, and come back into our hearts in the present moment. And the same is true for someone else's pain body. So I had this really great experience some time ago where someone's pain body, they went into a 20-year-old pain body, and then there was alcohol involved and they did their thing. And because I had done so much work on myself, I was able to look with innocent perception, like, huh? I did what? What did I don't understand. I didn't go right into that pain body with them. I just held into my heart, immediately called into the violet flame to get the distortions out of the way, regulated my breath, felt my nervous system go into fight or flight, because someone's pain body comes at you, your nervous system is going to get triggered. And held awareness. And I was like, what do you mean? And they kept doing the thing and they kept chewing. I gave a boundary, like, well, I don't see it that way. All right. Okay. I got some space, went into another room, saw if they could handle their pain body and ratchet it down. And when it went on for another hour, I was like, I think I'm going to go. I love you. Thanks for having me. I got a headache. See you later. And I didn't engage it. That didn't mean it felt okay. It didn't mean my nervous system wasn't like, you're gonna die, run for cover. But I was able to just look at it and be like, yeah, it smells in here. I have to go in the other room. I didn't say that, of course. So what if we were sovereign like that? What if when we felt it coming in, we were like, oh, okay, no, thank you. I don't want to do that tango. I'm going to find a new pathway. The new pathway may or may not be smooth. We're not rated. We don't get a grade at the end of this. We just do our best. We take care of the part of ourselves that really wanted to be seen and loved by that person. We were not going to be getting that from outside of ourselves that night. I had to get that little girl in check. So she wasn't reaching for this old thing that she reached for anymore. Pain body management is not easy. It's not pretty. It's not clean. It's messy. It's an iterative process. It's never the same. But awareness, presence to ourselves, regulation of ourselves is really the first step in being able to have a chance of paving a new pattern in the place of recurring pain bodies with someone else. So one more thing, my husband and I have a pain body. Usually we have a little agreement of whoever brought the pain body in has to like go take care of it, right? So the other one of us will be like, seems like you're a little upset about the dishes. Like a little bit of, something's in the room right now. Which is the signal for the other one to just go take 5 and chill out and take a break and really go in and regulate. Sometimes it works in our partnership. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's too far down the road for reel the pain body back, and taking a nap or going to sleep is the only way to manage it. Either way, we're slowing down the momentum by starving the pain body, not letting it feed on the people we love, not letting it gain momentum, not going with the addictive nature of what a pain body wants to do. So with that, I wish you many blessings as you observe your pain bodies and go into your own self-awareness in the mess of what it is to be a human. And we'll take this up in the next drop-in with some lineage work. I love you all so much. Happy holidays.